Trojan family, Trojan gang. Mr. Fight On Forever's in the building. Man, every day I wake up, it's a great day for USC. Every day I wake up this spring, it's been a great day for USC. And it's been another great day for USC, right? Cody Green then flipped from Oregon. Woo! They in shambles, bro. They in shambles right now, right? And this is big. And you say, Carter, why you so happy? A Oregon athlete flipped to Washington and not USC. Because, my friend, because Oregon is losing its luster. Oregon is losing its shine, right? Oregon ain't got these kids hypnotized no more. You know why? Because everybody could pay now. See, NIL, then even the playing field. And now that the Big Ten got that TV deal and we going in the second year in the Big Ten, that money for other schools like Washington is starting to kick in. See, Oregon ain't the only one who could offer a bag now. So it's bad for them. Did y'all really think people was going to Oregon because of Oregon? No, they was going to Oregon because that check, right? Now, I'm not saying Washington got as much money as Oregon because I don't think they do. They don't, right? But Washington being in the Big Ten now, they got enough money to compete with recruits that they might want. Now, Washington probably can't compete with Oregon for 30 recruits, but that top 10 and 15 that they feel like they must have, like a Cody Green, oh, they got a bag for a few players, right? So Washington was able to offer this kid just as much as Oregon, or maybe even more, right? Because they in the Big Ten. And Washington not in the Big Ten and getting this Big Ten money, they probably is not able to flip Cody Green. So it's just a beautiful day for USC right now, because what I'm realizing, these kids ain't got all googly eyes for Oregon no more, right? See, in the beginning when Oregon first started they run, it was good, an up and coming program, and they throwing bags out, all these nice jerseys, start winning games. But after a while, after being in the spotlight with all these jerseys, with all this money to field night and all the talent they've been getting, but not winning the championship, eventually that coming back to bite you. Now these other schools can reverse recruit Oregon and say, look, the players that they get out of high school and get committed, they don't even develop. I was watching the Oregon game last year. I remember watching Oregon versus Ohio State at Oregon, right? And I remember looking at the Oregon roster. 11 on offense, 11 on defense, 22 starters. Out of they 22 starters, I counted 16 players that were transfers, right? So as another university, if you Washington, USC, Ohio State, Bama, whatever, now you could reverse recruit against Oregon and say, look at all these recruits they get out of high school, but they always got to rely on the transfer portal. When the season come around, most of their starters be transfer portal dudes, already made men. Oregon don't develop their high school talent. Oregon has been getting great classes since 2012 and still ain't done nothing with it. They best players all being transfer dudes. Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel, Jabbar Muhammad, dudes like that, Derek Harmon. They best players always being transfer portal players, not homegrown players. Now that you could use that against Oregon and you could offer the same bag as Oregon is never finna go back to recruiting the high school at the same level with these other teams having money and having ammo to show Oregon ain't developing nothing, right? Not only they not developing nothing, they always wet the bed on a national stage. They always is a letdown. You don't want to go there. They coaching off the computer over there, right? A lot of people on the inside and these coaches and the other teams know, like, you don't learn football off a computer. Just like we got that GA assistant that was up there at Oregon. Now he coaching on our defensive line. He said they was up there at Oregon teaching football on the computer, bro. So Oregon is never finna be the same no more. See, Oregon thought with the NIL coming in, they was just gonna be able to do what they do and not even worry about it, not have no competition. But the NIL is actually brought Oregon back down, especially since it's competition like USC and Washington getting Big Ten money now, especially when it's years of evidence building up that they don't develop their high school recruits at a high level. They always end up having somebody from the transfer portal, right? Just like they just dropped the highlight of their spring practice and they show Dante Moore throwing the touchdown pass to Gary Bryant. 2 transfers. Oregon is about to be transferred you feel me? Now, Oregon getting whooped like this on the recruiting trail, best believe they finna try to smash in the transfer portal. They finna try to put their dollar in the transfer portals and get a gang of mercenary dudes who just trying to get that last bag before they go to the NFL. Oregon about to be a mercenary roster. Dudes in their last couple of years that's trying to get that bag and go to the NFL. While USC, we finna load up and load up and load up on the high school recruits, bro. Oregon time is done. No, I'm not saying Oregon gonna be trash, but the level that they have been recruiting at for the last 10 years, it's over with, bro. It's over with. That Big Ten contract TV deal, this NIL, it's over with. Oregon no longer has that advantage that they have. Right? Now, we didn't get Cody Green, but Cody Green flipping. And this is why it's really big and what y'all ain't really looking at. It's one thing if Oregon loses a Southern California recruit to SC. It's like, okay, he wanted to play home and stay home, right? But when you lose a Southern California kid to Washington, like, you lost him to a school that didn't even had a home field advantage and say you could play towards home and this and that. You lost him to Washington. He went further up north. He didn't even go home. In Washington, we see they ain't got the bag that USC. They ain't moving like we moving. So if Washington is able to steal a player that Oregon won't, like Cody Green was like they top recruit, one of their highest rated recruits, right? When you lose a recruit that you won't to your rival like Washington, and this kid from Southern California, and he didn't even go home, Oregon has lost its luster. And that is great for USC, right? Now, we really could put that fence up. So with this up from here, this spring it has been great. The revelation been this spring is USC is back recruiting at a high level. USC is getting its act together. At the same time, where Oregon luster is falling off. At the same time that Oregon recruiting power is falling off. See, it's another thing if USC get its recruiting cracking and Oregon recruiting cracking. But Oregon luster is falling off. Oregon is finna be transfer you, right? These kids ain't got googly eyes for Oregon no more because everybody got a bag. So Oregon really just gonna have to recruit like everybody else. They're gonna have to sell something besides their money. And they're gonna fall behind because every recruiter at Oregon, they're not, the recruiters at Oregon, they never seen real college football, right? They never dealt with real deal recruiting, right? Because you ain't dealing with real deal recruiting and you ain't really gotta recruit that hard if when you competing for the players, all you doing is throwing a big bag and throwing them a number that they can't refuse. You ain't got to be a great recruiter. In the past, I could have been a recruiter at Oregon. Whoever listening to this video could have been a recruiter at Oregon. When you could say, oh, I give you these amount of millions. Now they finna have to recruit Oregon. What are y'all going to do when you can't just out recruit people and get kids because you got more money? What are you going to do when you can't offer more? Or the other schools, Oregon don't know how to convince a kid to come to Oregon without talking about money, without giving them a bag. They can't talk about tradition. They ain't got no chips. They can't talk about development. They players in the NFL don't be doing shit. And the ones that do was transfer dudes. So what can they preach? They don't got no prestige with they jerseys. What can they preach? Their coaching staff is You know what I'm saying? What advantages do they got? They in Eugene in the middle of nowhere, right? They ain't won no championships. They ain't got no history, no tradition that's excellent, right? What are they gonna do? Oregon, what are you gonna do? What are the recruiters up there is gonna do when you is just used to offering money to kids to get them to commit? That's the only way they know. Like, what are they gonna do? Y'all don't have great academics. Y'all don't have a great location. What are they gonna do? I'm telling you what they gonna do. They finna fall back into the pack. They finna fall back to what they was in the early 2000s and in the 90s, right? And USC gonna put this West Coast back on lock, right? It's a wrap for them. Oregon having a monopoly on California talent, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for them. At the same time, we coming back up. Dynasty incoming. We finna put that fence up back around SoCal, bro. It's SC, gang or don't bang. You hear me? Carter Sports, Trojan family. Man, we in this thing. And we coming back. And all the signs is there piece by piece, bro. And getting Oregon out the way, check that. We checking that box. Getting Oregon out the way, we checking that box, buddy. Look at them, they in shambles. Look at them, they in shambles. Right? So until then, man, it's your boy Carter Sports. You know it's Trojan gang, man. You know we coming back. Oregon is in shambles. They coming back down to earth. They do not have that luster and shine no more. And as USC fans, we know what that means for us, right? They are main competitor for the top Southern California talent. And them falling off at the same time re-rising, that's why we got this historic class, you feel me? It's up from here. Trojan fans, it's up from here. So until then, man, we go find out forever, and I'm out this thing.